If your home was on fire and upon your escape, you could only grab the essentials, what would you take? And I remember stumbling my way through the answer. Easy, I said. I grabbed my phone, laptop, wallet, boom. No, wait. My phone, my laptop, my wallet, and my favorite Jordans, right? And probably some photos. Oh, and my cat. Okay, wait, go back. Phone, laptop, wallet, Jordan's pictures, cat. Oh, and the necklace that my daughter made me at school. I gotta get that. Wait, did I grab my daughter? Damn it. Can I start over? And the whole time my wife was looking at me like, hi, did I make the list? I don't know. This is stressful. I don't want to play anymore. Lucky for me, I've never had to make that decision. I have, however, been a part of it. The night I saw flames dancing with the sky above my neighbor's back house, and I ran toward them. Next thing you know, my friend and I were in the home of this neighbor I'd never met, helping her grab her essentials, her purses, photos, pets, when I suddenly noticed her hunched over in distress. Something's wrong, she whispered. My heart. So I ran to the nearest firefighter, who carried her to the paramedic, who whisked her off to the hospital safely. Later that week, she came by to tell me what the paramedics told her, that if she had gone another 60 seconds untreated, she would have had a potentially fatal heart attack. She thanked me for saving her life, handed me a cake that she baked just for me, and told me I was her hero. No, I had trouble receiving it, honestly. Not the cake. Oh, I ate the mess out that cake. But the hero part, it's weird because I didn't feel I had done anything especially heroic. It's not like I was the first responder. I was just the first to respond to her. Just a person who showed up and connected her with the things she needed to survive. But then again, I guess the word heroic is not made in just one size. Sometimes it's a monumental act, like running into a burning building as a firefighter. Sometimes a simple act, like seeing a neighbor in distress and walking her over to a firefighter. And sometimes it's an act that seems at first inconsequential, but ultimately turns out to be utterly essential. Like the brave act of waking up to find the whole world on fire and still getting dressed in a grocery store apron, in a housekeeping uniform, in scrubs or a white coat, and going to work every day, heroic. I guess that's why, when the world faced a global pandemic, we began honoring the living doorstops who kept our lives open as everything closed. As we cemented our stay, they got up to go, opened the bank, loaded the dock, picked up the trash, punched the clock. So the only reason we all got the disaster relief we need is because someone stood in the face of disaster wearing the face of relief. Someone was unable to work remotely, to play it safe. Someone ran toward the flames as we all ran away. Someone brought the mail. Someone drove the bus. Someone packed the box. Someone loaded the truck. Someone showed up at our front door with a bottle of Merlot. Showed up at our car door with a bag of sourdough. Showed up on our tablets with telehealth advice. Showed up in the darkness to connect us with a light. Because see, once we had all secured enough of all the so-called essential stuff, wipes, sanitizer, and enough toilet paper to TP a continent, someone noticed us, still hunched over, saw our hearts threatening to break beneath the despair of it all, heard us whisper, something's wrong, and connected us with ways to make it right. From pharmacists connecting us to essential medications, to farmers connecting us to essential food and libations, to call centers connecting us to essential information, or just a friendly voice to fight off feelings of isolation when a global pandemic sent our whole world up in flames. What turned out to be most essential for us to protect was our ability to connect. Each of us had to find new ways to connect to our sense of hope and health and happiness. And so we began reinventing our reality. We reinvented relationships, didn't we? backyard happy hours, digitized dates, and rituals with children of fort building lunch breaks. We reinvented school. Parents, poof, turned into teachers. Teachers, poof, turned into apps. Classrooms reinvented to close homework gaps as parks and parking lots turned into hot spots. To ensure the connection to learning is never lost, we reinvented words like kindness, neighbor, and sanity. We reinvented how we defined and demonstrated humanity. We reinvented the reality of how we connect to what we love. And in doing so, our reality reinvented us because we realized there are some connections we cannot afford to drop. Even in a pandemic, we can't afford to lose our connection to possibility. Even at a distance, we can't afford to miss our connection to community, to drop our connection to resilience, faith, and trust. And we haven't had to because you showed up. The government IT worker that kept our world connected. The journalist that kept our world informed. The driver that kept our world delivered. The tech support that kept our world mobilized. The social worker, elder care worker, call center worker who helped us reach out and touch those we love. Even when you weren't feeling the love yourself. Even at a warehouse, packing boxes with supplies that you couldn't even get access to yourself. At a clinic, healing people who could care less about your health. You fought through the fear, the risks, and stayed in service even as the world's stress brought the worst of us to the surface. You worked amid social injustice and healthcare disparities. You served despite inadequate pay and poor safety measures. You showed up even as we cursed you, cried, and complained. And the truth is, I don't know how many of us would do the same. The truth is, after calling me hero for saving her life, my very same neighbor raised a huge Confederate flag on her front porch a few months later. True story. And the question I can't help but wonder is if the timing were reversed, would I still have been able to deliver that act of love for her after she flew a flag of hate at me? Would I have the grace of the grocery store clerk who still went back to work after taking a break to wipe a customer's spit off his shirt? Would I have the strength of the ER nurse who still gave all she had after being cursed out by a patient who refused to wear a mask? Could I be the cop enduring the protesters' rage-filled words and still get up and risk my life to honorably protect and serve? I mean, how impossible it feels for us to show up to this world in the spirit of service, even when you feel it doesn't deserve it or you feel deserted, and yet you did. You always have. You still do. And that is why hero is what we proudly call you, because you have not only endured the worst in us, but you have also inspired the best in us. You have left in us the will to live up to your acts of purpose, inspired by the heroism of surgeons and nurses, public health, utility, nonprofit workers, soldiers, scientists, and restaurant servers. So we throwing some extra tips in your pockets and your purses, donations to churches, small businesses, researchers. We searching for essential ways that we can feed your service with each purchase that defeats curses of needs that go unnurtured, from politicians writing policies to poets spitting verses to tech providers keeping you connected through every circuit. We trying to make sure that you never feel worthless and give back the love you give us because you deserve it. Because we know that those in service still need to be served. That's why car plants started growing ventilators. Textile makers began sewing masks because those who give us health still need our care. Because someone still needs to respond to those who give us their first response. Someone still needs to notice you, hunched over beneath the strain of your work, to see you as a neighbor, to notice how you hurt, to feel the toll on your mental health and have your back, like walking you over to the paramedic who prevents your heart attack, like fighting your fires, protecting your essential stuff, standing in solidarity with you as you keep showing up, celebrating how your reality has reinvented us. And I know the words thank you are nowhere near enough, but they are a start. So today, let us start with them. Thank you for caring for us in ways reverential. Thank you for protecting us through storms that were torrential. Thank you for connecting us to all that's fundamental. Thank you for showing us the best of our potential. For you, civil servant, have left our hope reassembled. You, first responder, show up in ways that make us tremble. You, essential worker, are a hero, quintessential. And you have reinvented the reality of what we call essential.